What's up? It's Naomi the Crafty Savage here, and I'm back with this week's whipping chat. If you're new to diamond painting, whip stands for work in progress, not you're gonna whip somebody. No, we're diamond painting here, right? We're diamond painting. Anywho, chat is I'm just gonna sit here, run my mouth, and tell you all about my lovely week. I'm working on, what is this called? I think Playing Squirrels from, oh my gosh. I should really know where I got this diamond. It's like New Day or something. I think, I could be wrong. I'll have it linked down in the description box down below. But yeah, I think it's called like Playing Squirrels. And I am almost done. I just have this little section here left to finish. I'll be using my Chroma diamond art pen. Got some putty over here, some glue dots in there. I will also be using my Munimade tray. Whoop whoop, gotta love it. I also have my Heart of the Ocean from Shine Shop Designs. I will have her shop linked down in the description box as well. So, yeah, that's a mouthful. With that said, how are you guys doing? I hope you guys are all doing wonderful and fabulous and marvelous. I'm hanging in there. I'm definitely hanging in there. Before we get started, just a small little plug I want to share with you. I am an affiliate with Treasure Studios Art. You use the code Naomi15, it will, or yeah, Naomi10. Naomi10? I think it's Naomi10. You'll get 10% off of any order over, yeah, it's Naomi10. Any order over $40, you know, you don't have to. You know, I will make a small little commission off of it, but you don't have to. I do also have Buy Me a Boba if you want to help contribute to the channel. Again, you don't have to, you know, but if you do, please know that it's greatly appreciated. So, let's see. What has been going on with me? Do I really need? Yeah, I kind of do. I got some old eyes. What has been going on with me lately? So, where we last, yeah, I cannot talk, guys. Like, spit it out, cupcake. Good lordy. So, where we left off last week, I always record my videos on Wednesday. You guys see them on Thursday. So last Wednesday, I kind of got like the day off because I came into work and the electric wasn't on, you know, and that's kind of where things left off. So I got up and I drove into work on Thursday. And when I get there, the electric still isn't on yet. So I call my boss and I'm like, hey, like the electric still isn't on. Like I have stuff that I have to get done, and here I had also taken off early Tuesday to go to the dentist, so I had missed like part of Tuesday afternoon, all of Wednesday, and I was like, I can't miss any more days. So I go and I literally like I pack up the computer, and what's nice about my computer is it's like in the one monitor. So it's not like I'm really lugging everything. But I packed up the computer and my other monitor. I grabbed some files and, you know, some stuff that, you know, I was like, okay, you know, let me get this stuff done. And I loaded up in my car and I drove it back to my house and unloaded it out of my car and set it up. So I was like, woohoo. And now that it's here, I'm like, yeah, can I just keep it here? We'll get into that. So that was part of my Thursday. I had to run to the post office to send out, I don't know if you remember last week I was telling you all about that lean and what a royal pain in the behind it was. Well, I finally, got it all done and everything was correct. But I still had to go to the post office and have it like pay to have it like certified delivered. I just screwed that up, but you know what I'm saying. Basically, they have to sign for it. And yeah, so I had to do that with the builder that we're working for, because he's part of the owner. I had to send it to the business, and then I had to also send it to his investors that are in New York. It is now Wednesday, and I have not heard anything from either of them. You know what I mean? And this guy opened this gym up on Friday. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of like, that's freaking expensive, but, and, yeah, trying to get to the post office. So, like, I'm so used to now, like, when the office was at my aunt and uncle's, like, I'm used to, like, okay, this is where the post office is at, this is how you get there, da 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 da. So I'm, like, kind of learning that near my house. And so I'm like, oh, I go past this post office every day on the way home from work. I know where it's at. Except there's only one way in. And, like, yeah. So I went past it thinking, like, you could also get on the other side. No. So I had to turn around, come back out. Yeah. It was fun. But, I got it done, and that should be interesting. I'm waiting for that phone call. And then what else happened on Thursday? So this was later Thursday night. And Jenny, the Uncrafty Crafters live, we were trying to make her chat jump, and we were like typing in one words like the dog went to the moon, or whatever. Like, we were just, and we were messing with her, and it was freaking hysterical. And then she was saying, and also usually at the end of her lives, right before she gets off, she will show, if she's stocked anything, new in her shop. And she showed this one, and it's funny because as soon as she showed it, I was like, oh, I have to have that. And as I'm thinking it, she was like, she's like, and this one reminded me of you, Naomi. And yep, so usually, she waits until after she gets off her live to like make everything available in her shop. And this time she didn't. She turned around and she was like, okay, everything's posted. I didn't even wait for her to say goodbye. I hopped out of her live, jumped over to Etsy to her shop, grabbed that cover minder that I wanted, and threw it in my cart, and I ran. Like, I was rude. I didn't even say goodbye. I was just like, shh, take my money. But I got what I wanted, and that should be here, oh, I would think within the next couple of days. And she also, like, she had sent a message because, her husband wasn't feeling well, letting me know. And she was like, I recommend waiting 10 days. And I replied back, and I'm like, no, I'm not waiting 10 days. Like, I'll go to my mailbox with the Lysol wipe. I'll wipe that baby down. Like, I know what's in there. I want that cover minder. Like, we will not be having this. Like, if I have to wipe everything down in Lysol, if I have to wipe myself down with Lysol wipes, like, that's what I'll do. I don't care. I mean, when this thing first came out, I was actually carrying a small little can of Lysol in my purse. And like, whenever I would have to, and I didn't really go a lot of places. It was more or less like the bank and food shopping, and that's about all I did. But I would spray myself down with Lysol, go into the store. When I came back out, I would spray myself down with Lysol again. The same with the bank. Like, I didn't care. I was not, nope. So, yeah, there's that. And then, Ooh, I just had a heart attack. I thought I was putting this down on the wrong symbol. I didn't realize I switched them. Good gravy. Now let's see. Friday, I woke up and I worked from home. And when I say like, oh, working from home, it's nice. Like, I can get up, take the dog out. Like, before I take the dog out, I turn on the computer and get it like going, because I have to remote into a server in Pennsylvania. So that takes like, it's not like long, but it, you know, it takes a little bit to do its thing. And so I'm like, okay. So I usually, you know, take the dog out, and I'm in my pajamas. I don't care. I sit down, you know, I start doing work, and then halfway through the day, I'm like, yeah, you know, maybe I should go get dressed. Like, it's just, and there's some days I just stay in my pajamas. Like, I don't care. I don't have to deal with the sun blinding me as I go into work. I don't have to deal with the crazy idiot drivers, like, coming back from work and going to work, because they're crazy. They are crazy. The snowbirds need to go back up north, and when they do, the roads will be so much better. Yeah, like, it's crazy. Like, right now it makes sense, like, when you drive down the road and you're like, why is there, you know, 4 lanes? But come, you know, like, towards like April and May, now, like, right now those 4 lanes, like, they're packed. Come April or May, like, you're sitting there going, why do we need, you know, 4 lanes on one side of the road, and then, like, on the other side of the road there's 4 lanes as well? And it's not a highway, like, it's a road, and it's because of all the traffic that comes. So I've definitely enjoyed working from home. I will say, like, there are times I'm like, I wonder if I could diamond paint. And I might have. Shh, don't be telling nobody. You know, like, if this gets out, I'm gonna know it's you. And then I'm gonna know I can't tell you nothing, right? No, I'm joking, guys. But on Fridays, like, on Mondays, the employees get paid. And then on Fridays, the subs get paid. So on Mondays, like, I run to the bank, I deposit everybody's check. On Friday, I deposit the one sub's check. So I go to the bank on Friday, and I was like, and the bank that, like, I normally go to, their lobby has been closed down for probably, like, about a month now. But, you know, like, their drive-thru is usually open. So I'm like, okay, you know what, I'll go through the drive-thru. And I go through the drive-thru, and I'm sitting there, you know, and then finally, like, get to go around. And so there's like 3 lanes. There's the one here, and then another one here where you can talk to the teller inside, and then the third one is like the ATM. Well, there was a Brink security guy at this one, and there was like a couple people like over here. There was nobody in the middle one. And I get around, and there's like a van, you know, sitting there. So I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Just wait for this van. And I'm sitting there, and I mean, like, it had to be like 5 minutes. And I'm like, but also as I'm sitting there, like, I'm looking into the van, and I'm like, is anybody in that van? Like, I mean, and I'm trying to, like, look around, you know what I mean? Like, trying to figure out if anybody's in this van. And I was like, well, you know, should I get out and look? And I probably would have, except the Brinks, you know, like, security guy. Like, you could see the Brinks truck or whatever, you know, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I should get out. Like, I don't want him to think, you know, I'm going over there trying to do something you're not supposed to do. So I sit in my car. And as I'm sitting there, I look up, and all 3, well, not the ATM one because there's no light above it, but the 2 lanes, it says closed. I'm like, I've sat, so like I said, like, I probably sat in the line till I got around for about 10 minutes. Then I sat behind this black van, and that nobody was in front of it. And honestly, like, there was nobody in this van. And I realized that when I was like, screw this. So I went around because nobody was going through the middle. And I'm like, why are you guys not going through the middle? Like, are we all just dumb and didn't see like the lit up signs at the top? Maybe. So I go around, and that's when I noticed there's nobody in that van. I sat behind that van for like 5 whole minutes like a big dum-dum. Yeah. Yeah, so then, you know, I drove down to the other bank, and I got that all done and taken care of. And then it was, and here lately, like, there's been builders that are like, oh yeah, we're going to pay you, we're going to pay you. And, you know, Friday comes, and it's like some excuse, you know, like, oh, I forgot to sign the check, or I didn't get time to get back to the office to grab the check, you know, just something. Like, it just, I mean, and they're good builders, you know what I mean? And it just, it's been fun. So my boss will like have me cut the checks, and I'm like, the money's not there. And he's like, oh, just cut them anyway, you know, that way I can have so-and-so, you know, meet you on Thursday to grab the subs checks, blah, 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 blah. I don't like doing that because I'm like, the money isn't there just because the builder said he's going to pay. That don't mean diddly squat. Like, I've grew up around the construction world, and when I say, like, I have seen and heard it all, the freaking excuses, like, I have. I know, I just saw another. Ooh. But yeah, so I mean, like, I'm so, like, I don't trust you as to, like, you could say you're paying us, hey, that's great, fine, and dandy. You could give us the check, that's great, fine, and dandy. Until it actually clears in the bank, to me, that money's not there. So I had told him, I was like, don't give the subs checks out. Like, don't do it. What does he do? He gives the subs checks out. And I'm like, look, and then I had to pay, like, we had the money, but I also had to pay the supply yard. And I'm like, look, it's not leaving us a lot, you know, after paying. And he's like, oh, don't worry about it, you know, we're getting this check, and, you know, and we did. But I'm just very, like, anal. I'm like, no, like, until we have that check, you know what I mean? Like, no, don't do it. But, you know, I talked to the other lady in Pennsylvania, and she's like, oh, Naomi, she's like, I get it. She's like, you feel like you're being irresponsible. And I'm like, that's exactly it. And she's like, what you have to remember is it's not your money. And I'm like, you're right. Like, it's not my money. So, yeah. But let something bounce, you know what I mean? I'm the first one that's going to get yelled at. Like, well, why would you do it? Oh, because you freaking told me to, dum-dum. Like, just, I don't know. Maybe I'm like PMSing or something, because I've just been not like mean, but like I'm just irritated. Like, I'm just like, why? Like he turned around today and was like, oh, you know, did you order this job? You know, and if not, you know, it needs to be ordered ASAP. Okay, you know what I mean? Well, let me go look. I'm like, yeah, nope, you know, I don't see it entered here, so I didn't order it. And I go to pull up the counts, and it's counts from a print. And I will not order stuff off of counts from a print, because things change. Just because what's on the print is not necessarily how the house was built. Sometimes stuff gets added on after the print. Like, you're just better going and counting the house to find out what you need. And so, yeah. So I had to be like, yeah, nope, it's not ordered because the counts I have are from a print. So, yeah, like, I don't know why that irritated me, but it just irritated me. I think I'm also trying to get, like, reports done for the accountant that I have to mail out to him and email him. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't. I think that's it. Like, and I know, like, the end, well, it's the end of the year, but it's like the beginning, like January, and like kind of like the beginning of February. Like, I'm just like, leave me the hell alone. Like, let me do what I need to do. And yeah, I get irritated because I think it's just like I'm overwhelmed. I'm just, every time I feel like I try to start something, it's like, oh nope, I need you to do this. Oh nope, I need you to do that. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, just don't be upset when you know you're, I mean, I have till April, you know, to get this, or not April. I have to get it to them before April because they have to be filed. But I don't like necessarily have to get all this stuff done right away. But I like to just get it done and over with so I don't have to worry about it. And yeah, it's just, like I said, it's not hard. It's just, it's time consuming, you know, and you got to make sure you print out the right report to send, and yeah, fun stuff. Gotta love accounting. Yeah, no. I used to really like my job, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I still like my job, but it's just, I don't know, my heart just is not in it like it used to be, if that makes any sense. And it pays good. It pays good. I think that's why I still kind of like stick around and deal with it. But it's just, I don't know. I hate the end of the year. I hate having to get everything ready, and everybody's always like, do you have my W-2? Do you have my W-2? And it's like January 2nd, you know what I mean? And you're like, you need to back up off me before I take your W-2 and shove it right where the sun don't shine. But yeah, that's like what I get, you know what I mean? Or when are you going to have the W-2s done? And I'm not kidding when I say, like, because like we're off January 1st, like I come in January 2nd, and when are the W-2s going to be done? I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, when I get to them, like, I technically have until the end of January to give them to you. Leave me alone. But yeah, fun stuff. And then and that was basically Friday. Saturday was heartbreaking, guys. So, as you guys know, I'm having, like, dental work done that, you know, it's costing me, like, an arm and a leg. So, I've had to, you know, like, cancel different subscriptions, you know, stuff like that. Like, I'm going to stop getting my nails done from Alex. So, and I probably shouldn't have gone this last time. I probably really should have just canceled, but I was like, I can't just cancel on the phone. I'm like, I have to go see him face to face, you know, and explain, you know, what's going on. So as he's like, you know, sanding my nails, taking the nail polish off from the cows, he's like, and I told him, I was like, yeah, I'm like, it's gonna, you know, be a little bit, you know, before I can come and see you again. And he's like, why, you know, like, and I told him, and he understood. And I was like, believe me, I'm like, I don't want to, I wasn't expecting this, and he got it. But it was still, it was heartbreaking. Like, I went to pay, and I was like, so, because I told him, I was like, you know, I'm like, hopefully I can get back here, you know, in the next couple of months, you know, I'm like, now, if for some reason, I'm like, if you were to leave this, he's like, I'm not leaving. He's like, this is my family business. And I mean, I was still like, no, like, can I just, like, put you in my pocket and take you home with me? Like, please, like, no. So, but yes, no, Alex is not going anywhere. He will be there. when I return, I told him, I was like, I'll come busting in that door like the Kool-Aid man, be like, I'm back! Did you miss me? Yeah. But yeah, it was sad. It was like, I don't know, like I enjoyed talking to Alex, like, because I was telling him, I was like, yeah, I'm like, I just need to find a sugar daddy. You know what I mean? And he was like, oh, don't say that. He's like, it makes you sound so cheap. And I was like, you're right. I'm like, but still, you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't want to do nothing with them. I'm like, just throw money at me, right? Yeah. But I don't know. He gave some good advice, and we would laugh, and he's awesome. So, but so I got done, you know, and I walked out, and I was just like, I don't know, like I was just upset, and I was like. And they have an Outback Steakhouse there, so I was like, okay. You know what? I'm like, I'm going to eat my feelings, and I don't care. So I went on, like, their website, and I tried to order a blooming onion, and I go to pay for it, and it was like it wouldn't go through, and I'm like, what the hell? So I'm like, all right. I'm like, I really want this blooming onion. I'm like, look, I'm like, I had to break up with my nail tech. Like, just don't deny me this blooming onion. So I walk into the front of Outback, and I'm like, excuse me. And I walk up to like the hostess, and I'm like, so I was trying to order a blooming onion, and it wouldn't let me. I'm like, can I just come in here and order it? And the guys were like, yeah, come follow me. So, you know, they took me over to, like, I guess where you would pick it up. And the girl there, like, she was awesome. And so I ordered my blooming onion, and I pulled my car around because I was parked on the other side. And let me tell you, these people are like serious. I had 2 people come up to my car window that worked there, and they were like, oh, what's your order number? And I'm like, I'm waiting for my blooming onion. Like, the girl told me just to pull, and they're like, oh, okay. One person goes in, probably about, like, I don't know, 3 minutes later, a totally different person comes out. Oh, you know what? What's your order number? I'm like, good golly. Like, it wasn't like, it didn't say, like, it said pickup. But it also said, like, waiting. Like, so I'm like, look, like, did this chick tell me, you know, to pull up somewhere I'm not supposed to be at? Like, damn, like, am I getting 3 blooming onions? Like, how many people are going to come out here? Like, just give me my blooming onions. Like, you walk up to my car and you don't have a blooming onion the next time, like, it's not going to be pretty, all right? But, yes, so then I came home, and I stuffed my face, and I worked on my diamond painting. And then on Sunday, when I woke up, it was like I went downstairs, and I saw like the light on my oven flashing, and the microwave had like PR or something. I'm like, what the good gravy does that mean? So, and I realized, I guess, you know, somewhere throughout the night, the electric went off. So I'm like, okay, you know, so I reset everything, and I'm sitting there, and I'm diamond painting downstairs in my living room, and all of a sudden, like, the lights go off again, and I'm like, what the hell? And at first, like, I'm like thinking, I'm like, do I have too much stuff plugged in? I mean, because where I used to live, like, the lights would, like, flicker. Like, honestly, when I say where I used to live, it's like a fire hazard waiting to happen, because it was like my apartment was here. There was somebody in the middle and somebody at the end. And then on the other side, there was a 2-bedroom apartment. And next to that was a 2-bedroom. The ones on this side, the 3 were 1-bedrooms. Well, I lived there for 2 years. I lived there when there was nobody in the middle unit. I lived there when, you know, so basically with those 3 units, I noticed that if there was somebody living in each unit, that's when, like, the lights in my bedroom and all, like, they would, like, flicker. And, like, almost like, you know, like they were gonna, like, go out. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? But then, like, when somebody would move out and somebody wasn't in one of those, you had no problems at all. So I was like, what the hell? So the lights go out, and then it was like they tried to come back on for like a second and went back out again. So I'm like, you know, what's going on? And I go outside and I hear sirens, and I'm like, I bet you somebody probably, you know, like hit one of the poles and knocked the electricity out. So I go on to my electric company's website, you know, like to look, is there a power outage? And sure enough, right up the street, it showed, you know, it was like damaged equipment. So my lights were out for like 2 hours. Now my first thought was, oh no, like, because it was cold, and cold for Florida. It was like in the low 50s, high 40s, and that is freaking cold in Florida. My first thought is, oh my gosh, the heat, right? Like, I'm gonna freeze. It did get a little chilly, but I didn't turn into a popsicle or anything like that. I did make it. But I was ever so thankful for I have another light pad that I use downstairs that's rechargeable. So I was like, I can still diamond paint. Like, I got my rechargeable, you know, light pad. So I just, you know, diamond painted. But then I also noticed, and I felt like an idiot, because I'd be sitting there and I'd be like, oh, you know, well, maybe I should put, you know, like a load of wash in. How are you going to do that with no electricity? I'm like, yeah, ding dong, you can't do that. And I'm like, oh, maybe I'll vacuum the floors. Again, how are you going to vacuum your floors with no electricity? But, you know, my brain just kept thinking of things to do. And then, like, after I would think it, I'd be like, yeah, no, you're going to need electricity for that. So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, I'm trying to be a productive adult, you know what I mean? Like, my electric goes out, and I'm like, oh, let me do some laundry. Let me vacuum the floor. Nope. So I had no other choice but to diamond paint, you know, and when the electric came back on, did I vacuum the floors? Hells to the no. Did I do the laundry? Hells to the no, I did not. Because the lights were on. And it was easier to diamond paint at that point. I know, I don't get it. But so here, like, when the lights first went off, my neighbor, she texts me and she's like, hey, she's like, you know, are your lights out? And I'm like, yeah, I think, you know, somebody probably hit a pole or whatever. And I sent her, like, the screenshot of what I found on, you know, the electric company's website. And she was like, oh, thank goodness. Here she was cleaning her oven, and she thought she had blown a fuse, and, like, she couldn't get it to come back on. And we had a good laugh, because I told her, I was like, yeah, I thought I had too much stuff plugged in my house and blew a fuse and da-da-da-da, and yeah. So that was quite an interesting moment. So I decided, I was like, you know what? I'm like, I need to do some food shopping. So I ran to Walmart and I did some food shopping, and I grabbed a couple of other things that I needed to grab. And as I walked out of Walmart, I realized the time, and I was like, oh crap, like she's going on. So literally, like, I got in my car and I was like, you know, said hello to everybody, and I was like, I'll be, you know, looking, or I think I said, like, I just got done food shopping, I'm driving home. And yeah, Shay's live on Sunday was freaking hysterical. She had Sandra West and Stephanie on there, and whoo, yeah, It was, they were doing the Have I Never, or some, I think I said that right. I probably screwed that up to next week, but yeah. And yeah, people were drinking, and it was quite interesting. It wasn't interesting. It was funny, but you definitely learned a lot about people. Like in that chat, you were like, oh, okay. Like it just, yeah. People were throwing up drinks and all that good hoobly boobly. I feel like I'm missing this symbol, and I can't find it. Oh well, you know, I'll put this away, and I'll be like, just joking. Here I am. I'll be like, you freaking dirty bird! Like, how dare you? Right. Double check. Nope, I don't see anything. Okay. Oh, here into your home. So that was Sunday. And then, let's see. Hold on, I need to take a drink. Oh, so much better. So then I got up on Monday. And I told my boss, because Monday is my, like, busiest day of the week. And I told him, I was like, look, I'm not taking apart this computer and taking it back to the office, like, not on a Monday. I'm like, if that's what you want me to do, you know, I'll do it on Tuesday, because it takes me about, like, an hour to, like, take everything apart, load it in my car, then I gotta, you know, drive over. It's about another hour to unload everything, get it set back up. Like, it just, no, I'm not doing that on a Monday. And he was like, that's fine. And he's actually fine with me working from home. He's like, I don't care if you work from home, you know, just as long as you get your work done. And I have to say, 9 out of 10 times, like, getting my work done, because honestly, like, I would prefer to work from home. Like, it saves me on gas. Like, it's saving me, like, spending money running out for lunch. Like, it's been really helpful. So I'm like, I'm not gonna, you know, take advantage of the situation. And it's like, if it's stuff that I'm not getting done, it's because I'm too busy with work to not get stuff done. But I get it done eventually. Like, it's not just like sitting out there. I'm not sitting on my couch watching TV. Like, that's what I have my phone for. I put YouTube videos on, or I have like 2 apps that you can watch like free TV shows on, that I'll put TV shows on. Like, and I'm not really, like, I'm not watching them. It's more or less like just background as I work. I listen to them. So, yeah, there's that. But, and yeah, so on Monday I ran to the bank, and I was like, you know, let me stop off at the office, because I had to, one, check to make sure, you know, if there was like any mail came or any checks came, which I seriously doubt, because most of the checks don't get mailed to the office. They usually get picked up. So, but you know, every now and then something will come. So I went over there, and my aunt was asking me about the insurance card for one of the vehicles and the registration. And she was like, and I told her, I was like, you guys registered it. I'm like, you didn't register the Chevy. I'm like, remember, because the company uses that one, blah, 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 blah. So I had to go and register it. And she was like, because here basically, my uncle let his grandson use his car in college. And yep, he parked it somewhere he wasn't supposed to, and it got towed. And he's like, you know, the registration isn't in here, and the insurance card isn't in there. And I'm like, yeah, no, the updated insurance card is in there, because I put it in there when it came in the mail. So what happened to it from there, like, I don't know. The registration, that gets mailed, you know what I mean? So whatever you did with it, like, I don't know what to tell you. Most people, they get their registration, they put the registration sticker on their car, put the registration in their glove box, and that's where it stays, right? Well, somehow it became my responsibility to try to hunt down, you know, get another copy of the registration. Basically because not my uncle, it just, they wouldn't let me. I even tried doing it online. They wouldn't accept the credit card because the credit card was not in my uncle's name. And I didn't feel like running back to the house, going into the safe, pulling out the credit cards. Like, I wasn't doing all that. So, yeah, that was, you know, fun. And the best part about it is this kid has a car. Now, what happened to his car, I don't know. I just know around, oh, I don't know. He's had this car a couple of weeks now. But in like December, he was driving around my aunt's car, and he went over to a friend's development, and they have like permit parking, and he parked somewhere he wasn't supposed to and got her car towed, right? And it has been probably not a month, maybe now at this point, it's been probably about a month that he's had 2 different vehicles towed from somewhere because he's parked in the wrong spot. And I said something to my aunt, and I was like, you know, well, isn't it funny? I'm like, that when it's his car, I'm like, that never happens. I'm like, but when it's other people's cars, you know what I mean? And yeah, so yeah, like I was irritated because I was like, I have too much crap I need to do than trying to hunt down a registration card, you know, and here's the insurance and blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't have time for that because this kid wants to be a freaking idiot and just park wherever the hell he wants to park. I'm like, no. Tell that mofo, you know, to walk. Now, they still need to get the car out, but, so, yeah, that was Monday. Tuesday, I get a call from my uncle, you know, about the insurance cards and the registrations, and I'm like, well, I have a copy of, you know, the insurance card for that vehicle because I'm not an idiot. Like, I'm not going to give you the only copy of it and have it get lost. Like, I've seen that happen too many times. Like, no. So when the updated insurance cards come, I make a copy. I even scan it in my computer and save it. So I have a paper copy of the insurance card, but I also have it saved in my scanned folders, so if I need it, like, I can find it. And I was like, you know, I'm like, and my uncle calls me and he's like, yeah, he's like, we need the registration. And I'm like, well, I can't get the registration. I'm like, I have the insurance card for the car. I'm like, I have this printout that, you know, it tells me that the car is registered until July of 23. And my uncle's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And I'm like, I'm telling you, like, it's right. But okay. So he's like, well, text me your address. He's like, we're coming to get that. I'm like, oh, okay. So I text him my address and I get all this stuff. And I'm like, let me make a copy of my copy. And yeah. So, and then I get a call a little bit later, and he's like, "Oh, you know, we don't need it." And I'm like, "You still need a copy of the insurance card. Like, they want to see proof of insurance." But oh, okay. I haven't heard anything else about it, and I'm not volunteering myself to call and find out about it either, because I don't want to deal with it. Like, I'm so over this kid. Oh my gosh, if I were, oops, sorry, I just bumped my tripod. If I were to tell you the bullshit this kid has pulled last year and again this year with credit cards and, oh my God, like, he feels that the world owes him anything, and he can just, you know, do what he wants and use whatever he wants. Like, I can't, you know what I mean? And I'm tired of the excuses, because I'm like, no. That kid is 21 years old, and I mean, don't get me wrong. Do 21-year-olds do stupid stuff? Yeah, because I did a hell of a lot of stupid stuff in my early 20s. But I never stole anybody's credit cards. I never stole anything from anybody. Like, I wasn't perfect. I wasn't a saint. But I sure in the hell wasn't a thief. And, yeah, like, the one time he got, like, when we found out about it, he turned around to my aunt and was like, you know, well, I don't see what the big deal is. The big deal is you charged $4,000 worth of shit on your grandfather's credit card and didn't have his permission. Like, you're lucky he's not pressing charges, because anybody else, nobody, you'd have charges pressed against you. Like, do that with my stuff. Nope, I don't care if we're family or not. Like, I'm pressing charges if that's what I got to do. You know, so I'm not responsible for them charges, because I'm not made of money. And and my uncle's not, like, made of money. Is he, you know, well off? Yeah, you know what I mean? But that still doesn't give somebody the entitlement to, you know, think they can just take. Like, nah. Hey, buddy, I hate to tell you this, but karma is a bigger bee than I am. Like, whew. But, yeah. So that was Tuesday. And then today, so my landlord on Monday or the property management had texted me on Monday and was like, you know, hey, can you leave the back gate open? You know, so these people can come in, because they have to, like, clean the gutters and power wash the stuff off the roofs and stuff like that. So I'm like, yeah, sure. So I wake up this morning and I, like, turn on my computer. I go outside and I unlock the padlock on the gate. And I'm trying to, like, open this, like, hinge, and it won't freaking open. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, and I had to use the restroom. Like, I needed to use the bathroom. And when I say I almost pooped myself, like, I almost pooped myself. But I finally got it open. And there was, like, and here in my development, some of the people, like, they just let their cats run. Like, they just open their door and just let their cats run around. And I think I might have talked about this before in another whipping chat. And it just, like, it irritates me, because I'm like, look, like, I can't just open the door and let my dog run freely. Like, I mean, I wouldn't. Even if I had a cat, I wouldn't open the door and just let the cat run freely. Like, if it's my personal cat. But these people, like, they just... And these cats will, like, sit right by my house. And I'm like, you know what? One of these times, I'm like, my dog is going to get a hold of your cat. And it's almost happened once where, and here, like, when I walk outside, my door opens this way. So if there's something over here, like, I don't see it because my door's blocking it. And a couple weeks ago, there was a cat out there, and Roscoe saw the cat before I could. And I mean, like, he was ripping and roaring to get to that cat. And I'm like, and it just, like, it irritates me, because I'm like, you know, I'm like, if something were to happen where my dog got a hold of one of these cats, I'm like, you know, I'm like, I don't want to be responsible. I'm like, you should have your cat inside. Like, I have my dog inside, and if he's not inside, he is on a leash when he is outside. Like, it just irritates me, because, like I said, like, I don't want anything to happen, but I'm like, I think I'm scared of something happening, because I'm like, he wants to go after these cats, and I'm like, I don't think you understand. Like, if he gets a hold of, you know, a cat, I'm like, that owner better not come to me for the medical bill, because I don't want to sound heartless, but no, you know what I mean? Like, your cat shouldn't have been outside in the first place. And it's not like a cat that where it's like, oh wow, there's a cat roaming around, you know what I mean? Like, where maybe the cat got out by accident. No, it's the same 3 freaking cats. And 2 of the cats belong to the one person, and another cat belongs to somebody else. And I know where the cats belong, you know, and it just, like I said, it irks me, because let me let my dog run around loose, you know what I mean? And if he were to attack somebody or bite somebody or go, you know what I mean? Like, no, like, keep your animal inside. Like, we even have a screened-in lanai porch where, like, you could put the cat, like, outside in the screened-in porch, you know, like, if you want to let your cat outside. There's no reason to let your cat, you know, just roam around. And then, you know, the cats, like, freaking poop everywhere. And Roscoe is like, it's like, I don't know if it's like a delicacy or something to him. It grosses me out. But I'm like, come on. I'm like, how is it fair to let your cat outside, you know, to use the bathroom? But, you know, when I take my dog outside, like, if I don't pick up after him, you know, you're going to send me a fine. Like, nah. You have 24-hour surveillance video around here. Find out where that cat belongs to and send that person a fine every time their cat poops outside. Like, because I'm tired of it. Like, I am tired of it. But, yeah. So, but on that note, I think, oh, you know what? One more thing I did want to say before I go. I am having extensive dental work done on Friday. So I'm hoping, like, I think I should be fine for next week's whip-in chat. But if there is not a whip-in chat next week, that is why. Also, down in the comment section, you know, down below, or down below, I don't know which way my phone, you know, whatever, up, down, inside, out, move around, anywho. List some soft foods, because I'm going to be having to eat some soft foods for like a couple days, and any, you know, recommendations. I mean, obviously there's some things I know, but there might be some things that, you know, not realizing or not thinking about. If you could leave that down in the comment section, I would greatly appreciate it. But with that said, guys, I'm out of here. If you're new to the channel and you liked what you saw, hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. And I'll see you next time, guys. Bye!